Hello everyone, welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 29 of the Rigger Ridge series. In the last episode, we made it all the way through the bad tide, but we did end up with a few thirsty beavers, as you can see right here. And the bad tide is over, but we're just waiting for the bad water to flow out of here. That way we can lower this floodgate and raise this one to let the water start flowing through here and allow some of these water pumpers to continue working again. We also set up a few more lumber mills. There's two right here, and then there's one more right down here. Since we are actually still a little low on planks in this district, we're only at 129. And we're also running a little bit low on water in this district, but we can go ahead and raise this floodgate to allow the water to start flowing this way. And we can start unpausing these water pumps. We also set up some more water storage, so now we have 5 large water tanks, and hopefully that should get us a little bit more capacity for the next bad tide or drought. We might even want to get 6 bad water storage set up, and we could probably put one right here. We also set up a 3rd district, and now the water is back and flowing. We can start setting up some buildings over here, and then as soon as we have some of the basics covered, we can start looking to setting up some floodgates over here, and that'll give us a little bit of water storage in this area. And then we'll also want to set up some irrigation canals, probably lead all the way to here, and that'll give us some more green space for food and trees. Looks like the bad water is fully out of here, so we can raise this back up, and then we're going to lower this for now because really we just want to get some more water over here and allow the beavers to pump it and not die of thirst. Some of them are getting some water since we have a water pump over here, and we also have this one right down here, and we also can start doing this, since once the water eventually backs up to right here, then we'll have this mechanical fluid pump going, and then we'll also have some water storage in this area. So now this area is filling back up, and then it will eventually go down here and help replenish some of the water in this area. We can go ahead and unpause this and also raise this back up now that we have some more water in here. 1 or 2 episodes ago we were running a little bit low on bad water, but it looks like we are up to 4,000, so we are doing absolutely great. Since it was a bad tide in the last episode, these guys were able to continue to pump during the bad tide, so now we're in a spot where we could even probably pause. Or we could, let's leave them unpaused, but we just won't prioritize a few of them by haulers. So we'll see if we still hover around the 4,000 mark, and if it starts dropping a lot, then we can go ahead and reprioritize these buildings by haulers. Looks like this mechanical fluid pump is working again, and so that's going to fill this area up, which will in turn start filling this reservoir back up. We were going up in water elevation, but through evaporation and this water pump near the end did lower it a little bit. It was either 1 or 2 episodes ago that we built all this stuff, and now we can get these last few water reels set in, and now we can also detonate this and watch some of the water go flowing into here. These will be some irrigation ponds, I guess you could say, and those will be helpful during the droughts and bad tides if they don't overflow too much. But we probably won't be using these fluid dumps much, if at all, since they were mainly here just to get a little bit of water to help some of these trees grow during the last bad tide. But that contributed to us running out of water, so we had to end up pausing them at the end. And in this district we got up to 500 water. Now the beavers are going through it, although it looks like there are only a couple thirsty beavers left. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I raised these during during the drought, so now everything is flooding. Oh my gosh. Well, I just lowered both of those, so now there should not be more flooding except for right here. Okay, well, it looks like it's receding pretty quickly. But it does look like it actually just killed all these potatoes. So that is unfortunate, but we did set up some more food storage in the last episode. So you can see in Mountainville, they have a fantastic amount of food. So it is not the worst thing that I accidentally flooded everything here. And it's funny, I realized that I just raised this and this in the last episode, but I didn't actually raise this one over here, so there was probably some water that was able to make its way out of here. And with all these unemployed beavers in Mountainville, we can unpause some of these lumberjack flags. But now, we want to get everything set up for this third district. So let's take a look at what we want to do. This is what we're going to start off with for the second district. We're going to let the beavers of Mountainville construct it. Although we are going to pause the lodges, because as soon as we build these, they're currently connected to this district, and we don't want them having some beavers move in over here. It'll probably take them a little while to construct all of this, so we're not going to be in any rush. We do have quite a few jobs that we are missing beavers for, but we can go ahead and just pause this. Then we have only 5 vacant jobs, which isn't too bad. That's manageable. We are still very short on planks in this district, and gears as well. Looks like they're in the process of constructing this. We only need planks. Hopefully they can finish constructing this soon. We only need 50 planks, and how many do these guys make per day? 1.3 hours. We can prioritize these by haulers. That should help speed up the plank production a little bit. And then overall we are at 330, which means that, yeah, most of those are in, if not all of those are actually in this district. Getting those 3 additional lumber mills were just enough. We are short on bots, but we also have been switching a lot of jobs to be bot jobs. Gears, we are still riding around the max, so we can go ahead and switch. We'll just do this last guy. Switch it out for a beaver. Oh, we can switch some of these for beavers, because this is not like a super important job. And we are we're all the way up to 1400 scrap metal. And realistically, once we run out of this, then we really don't have any other option but to look at getting another mine set up. Because a few episodes ago we were not producing enough scrap metal with just this mine alone, even with prioritizing it by haulers. But maybe having these storages here will be enough. And this guy does not actually reach all the way to these over here, so we can go ahead and we're going to make another tapper shack. And you can see that we actually don't quite reach the final tree at the bottom, but with the new flip feature, that'll get us just there. So this is going to end up being a perfect spot for this new tapper shack. This tapper shack over here, we have a little bit of pine resin, but we're still pretty short. Although some of these trees have just grown up and they are in the process of maturing to the point where they can actually get some tree sap, or pine resin, not tree sap. So we'll give it another cycle and see where our pine resin levels are at. If those are still low, then we can take out another couple rows of trees and replace them with pine. These water wheels are providing a little bit of power, and we can get the last one set up since they already got over here. But we are filling up this reservoir little by little, although they are pumping water out of here. You can see it is just starting to spread over in this direction. They are up to 2,000 water, and it's day 5, so at this rate they're going to be in a pretty good spot. For now we can turn off importation of water in this district since they are not thirsty anymore. Now they have water and the water pumpers are back on. You know, at this rate I honestly don't know if this will be able to go up high enough since it's already been 5 days and we did have to wait about a day before we could start pumping water into here. But this never dropped below this level. I don't think it's really going up that much, and also now that we have this water pumper in here. So we might go ahead and look at trying to get some dynamite out of here and then put a second water pumper or a second mechanical water pumper over here. We do need to let the beavers construct this path so they can get over here to construct this. And then we'll do the same for this dynamite. We'll just stick with the dynamite right here, but if this isn't enough then we can get some paths down here and blow out a slightly larger hole for the water to fill in. It looks like these guys are actually maxed out on wood, which is fantastic. So we can start pausing some of these lumberjack flags and this forester, and then as well as this forester over here, plus some of these lumberjack flags. They're sitting on their butts not doing anything. Back in this 3rd district, they got this stuff constructed super quickly. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer. But for now, let's try prioritizing all these buildings by haulers and see if they can fill up some resources before we switch it over to the new district. We are doing much better on paper now, so let's see if we start prioritizing some of these wood or the paper mills by haulers and see if they can get some more punch cards and books for the beavers and bots. And they can't reach this because we put this power shaft in, so we gotta unpause that just for now, and then we can actually re-put that in, but we'll wait until they finish constructing this last piece of dynamite. So they got all 4 of these placed in so we can detonate that, and then we can also look at getting this mechanical fluid pump set up as well, and they'll get that constructed very quickly. And then they can start working on this. And I think they actually are a little short on gears. Yeah, they have no gears right now. We can go ahead and look at the distribution. Mountainville isn't really exporting much, so we'll drop that down to 85%. So that means that if Mountainville has more than 85% of their storage capacity full of gears, then they will export the remains, the last 15%, to any other districts that will accept it. And then in Valley High, we actually turned off imports for gears, but we're going to turn that on to import if needed, and they need it right now. So that should allow them to get some more gears to help them quickly construct this. And they had no gears because it looks like they put all of them into here. Treated planks and metal blocks are also being imported. Looks like they used all the treated planks already. And we do have some metal blocks, so they'll be constructing that over the next day or two. On the bright side, they did finish constructing this last large water storage tank, so that brings us up to 5 in total. They're up to 3,500 water, and it's only day 8, which is awesome. Doing a quick resource check in Mountainville, we're up to 5.5 thousand water. We're going to continue to increase that since we have this extra water storage tank. Wood's looking good. Food is looking fantastic, other than maple pastries, but we're still short on maple syrup, and it's going to be a little while before these trees have grown up. Other than the usual suspects of books, punch cards, pine resin, and catalyst, everything else is looking fantastic. So there's no problems here. And then over in Valley High, water, food, and logs are looking great. And then all this extra stuff, they're doing okay on, other than gears and planks. But we've been dealing with that throughout this episode. So it doesn't look like prioritizing these buildings by hollows has really helped anything. So I think that when we move the beavers in, we'll have to have them get some imports going over here. We're doing fantastic on water right now, so we can go ahead and actually get rid of these couple water pumps. And then we're going to get some more showers set up for the beavers over here. We are looking at the final gear that needs to be placed, and I'm hoping that they can get that done pretty quickly. And there's the beaver who is delivering it, but he just dropped it off. And it looks like this beaver is going to finish constructing it. And now we just doubled the flow rate. So we were at 36 HP. Oh, that went all the way up to 72. So now we're diverting a bit more water going over here. You can see it is actively pulling water into there. This does come at a cost. There is going to be less water going down into this area, so these water wheels will be working slightly less efficiently, but we have been doing pretty good on power overall. These gravity batteries have not really been dipping that much since we have our massive windmill farm here plus the other 5 on this side. And then here, these water wheels will also spin a little bit slower, but with these 3, I think that it'll be okay. Although we do need to start thinking about total power since we just doubled how many water pumps there are. And this is charging it up, but I think we should probably get a 4th windmill. So we're going to go ahead and put one right here if it will let us, and it will. So we'll get that set up. I think that having that 4th one should give us just the right amount of power, or right amount of extra power to support both of these. And I guess these will be working a little bit faster or a little bit harder now that we have these 2 water pumps pumping even more water into here. And you can see pretty quickly that the water is starting to go up just a little bit. The flow rate through here is a little bit more constant and not quite as much of a trickle as it was before. Okay, so it looks like the beavers are starting to fill some of these buildings up. Grilled potatoes and bread, they filled those up pretty quickly, and they got some water in here. It feels like these maple trees are taking forever to grow up. They're only 2/3 of the way through, which means we have another 9-ish days. Still suffering from maple syrup shortage. And these guys they are basically maxed out on water. Since we are looking for things to do, we can go ahead and get another... Oh, I was going to do another storage over here. I don't know how easy it will be to get down to this area. In the spirit of maximizing, we're going to do this. We're going to set this up. So we'll have a staircase coming down to here, landing zone, and then we'll set up another staircase going right here. We will eventually need these couple platforms here, so we might as well get those started. And now we can get rid of this staircase and connect the path in. They got all this constructed pretty quickly, so we can go ahead and get the large warehouse set up. And we can also get this last large water tank set up. And I think we only have 1,600 bread storage. But we have a lot of other storage, so we'll do that. And it looks like we have another bad tide approaching. That'll just mean some more power and more bad water. Yeah, these boats are all sitting on their butts. Let's pause a couple of these guys. We somehow still have 93 beaver jobs in this district. I don't know how we have even that many. Well, okay, we have all these inventor sets and then some hauling posts that also are employing beavers. But really we could have the goal of getting all the beavers to not have to work in this district. If we could make even more bots and start exporting them to other districts, then we could do the same. And you can see in the background the beavers are getting everything set up for another set of water wheels. We're going to also set up all these platforms, and that will allow the beavers to connect all the power shafts. So we're going to set this up all the way down here. Then we'll get this going right through here. Now once they have all this constructed, we'll start putting in water wheels 2 at a time. In fact, we can actually start with these 2. Although actually, now that I think about it, we want to pause this one because they won't be able to reach this otherwise. They should be able to reach this power shaft and this one from above. Yeah, it looks like they can go right here to construct these 2. You can see these beavers are sitting on their butts, not doing anything since they are maxed out on water. We can go ahead and pause this guy, let the reservoir fill up a little bit, and it is filling up. We are almost above this tile right here. We are going to set up a couple small dams just to have some pockets of water in case of emergency. We have just over 1 day left, but we're going to start diverting some of this and then pausing the water pumpers in this district. They have a lot of water. We added 2 entirely new water storages, so I think that they'll be in a good spot, but you never know. I think we're going to leave these lowered this time because I completely forgot last time, and that was no bueno. We can go ahead and pause these 2, and then we're also going to start... Oh, I forgot to... Let's do this real quick. If we get rid of this, it's not the worst thing. Oh, yes it is. Well, it's not the worst thing, but I did forget to connect this in. But if we get a few levees and high prioritize them, then we are going to start lowering this because we want some water spilling out, but I want to avoid excessive flooding over here, and I don't think it's going to make a difference. But the beavers are coming to the rescue and constructing this. We'll have these 2 also placed on high priority. Looks like the water levels are a bit more manageable, so we can go ahead and lower this. That might have been a mistake, but it looks like they're constructing all this just in the nick of time. And we can pause both of these now. And we do have some water left over in here. That's going to allow these trees to continue to grow, although we're not really worried about wood at all. Okay, real quick, 0.2 days left. Just want to make sure that I did everything correctly. We are diverting the water. We paused these water pumpers. I'm going to turn this fluid dump on just because we want to make sure this area stays nice and irrigated. And then back in this district we have the water diverter set up, or the bad water diverter set up. Pause both of these. And I'm going to unpause this since we massively increased our storage in this episode and the last one. So we should be good on water for now. And worst case scenario, we can always turn this this water pump on, and they have quite a bit of water they can pull from this reservoir. So I think we're in a good spot for the upcoming bad tide, and I think that is an excellent place to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like and a comment. I really do appreciate it. And come back tomorrow for day number 30. And with that, I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Thanks for watching.